What's up, guys? It's Ryu, and this is going to be a video that's going to recap a little bit of my thoughts on the season that has just passed, as well as give some updates and some kind of information and news for the future moving forward with Enemy CSGO. So first off, I want to thank my teammates for believing in everything that we were doing, believing in the message that we have preached since week one, which was the team always comes first. The team is first, the team is last, and the team should be everything in the middle. And that if we do things the right way and we believe in the teamwork that's required to compete at a high level, that it will ultimately lead us to competing at a high level. I think we had a tremendous season, both in ESEA and CEVO. I think we went to combine something like 30-4, 30-5, something really strong like that. Obviously, and for those maybe that don't know, we qualified and we made it to Pro League for ESEA/CSL's Pro League the other night with a win over Mousebaz and a best of 3. I'm just super proud of each and every single one of you guys. I couldn't thank you guys enough for buying into that message and for playing like we believed in that message, because I think as the season went on, we proved it to ourselves. We proved it to the people watching. And I really feel like we accomplished something the right way. And I'll probably catch flack for this, and if so, that's fine. I feel like one of the things that really holds North American Counter-Strike back is teams have a lot of success doing the wrong things. And by that, I mean they play super puggy. They don't use a lot of teamwork. They rely almost exclusively on their aim and just full-blown blind aggression. And it works. And it can work very, very deep into the top tiers of this game, at least in North America. And I think it would have been easy, especially with some of the raw aimers we have on our team, for us to kind of fall back into that and to fall into, I'm just going to trust my shot, to hell with teamwork. And I think what happens to a lot of teams, that they have the opportunity to make it to a top level, but then they realize they don't have better aim than the other people they're shooting at. And because they don't have a foundational level of teamwork, they drop off very quickly. And I'm very, very proud that our team did things in what I would consider the right way. So don't want to ramble too much on that point. Just want to say thank you guys again. Anomaly, Kusta, Uber, ZNF, Glowstick, Quicksilver, every single one of you guys. Just super proud of you, and couldn't thank you guys enough. I definitely feel like we proved throughout the season that teamwork does make the dream work. Also wanted to take a moment and just say thank you to all the fans. I feel like we picked up a ton of fans. You guys have been absolutely amazing, super supportive. Love all the energy and the positive vibes and people willing to fight for us to make Pro League. You guys have been absolutely amazing. And I would say at the start of the season, we probably had 2 or 3 fans, and 2 of them may have been my parents. So to go from where we were to where we are now, I think having some of these higher visibility matches, beating some of these Pro League teams, competing the way that we do, and playing the style of Counter-Strike that we play has really earned us some fans. And I hope that we continue to earn your fanhood. You guys have been amazing. If you guys have tweeted me, even if it's been negative, at any point during the season, I think I've taken time to respond to every single one, every single tweet that came my way. And I'll ask that you guys continue to do it, because it's something that I can't tell you how much I really do appreciate. If I had to pick, aside from making it to Pro League, which at the start of the season was our number one goal, if I guess I can take this back, a little bit of a history lesson for our team. We were looking to change things up at the start of the season. We had kind of the core 3 we wanted to move forward with, and we felt like we should add a little bit more fragging power. So we ended up picking this guy named Uber, who came from a main team that I don't know if they were any good last season. From what he said, I think maybe they were like an average main team. I'm not too sure. But we were told that he was a pugger, that he had the mentality of a pugger. He was just going to come in and shoot everything, and that's how he was going to play. And we also added ZNF, who I was told, hey, this guy can frag. He's pretty smart, but he tends to pug a little bit because his aim is so good. And I felt like at the start of the season, we really weren't too sure overall what we were going to be like as a team. But right from day one, it's teamwork, guys. Listen, putting the team first. The team comes first. If you guys remember our old team name, it was all about that. It was completely centered on putting the team first and playing for your teammates and with your teammates. And I think at the start of the season, we had a little bit of rough edges, but we were really starting to dial that in. And as the season went on, I think our teamwork got better and better, and it reinforced everything that we had been preaching, and really dialed us to the level that I feel like we're at now. one of the things people don't realize during the season is that I was averaging 10 to 15 hours a week, maybe a little bit more on some weeks, of Counter-Strike time. And I will tell you, and you can call it an excuse. I'll call it an excuse. 10 to 15 hours of CSGO playing against people that are playing 40 to 80 hours a week is no bueno. It's not good. It's very, very difficult. And I was concerned in the season that I was going to hold the team back in that not having, because if you do the math on 10 to 15 hours a week, right, we're talking 30 hours every 2 weeks, the occasional, 35 if I was lucky. If you do the math on that, if we're practicing or have matches 4 or 5 days a week, very, very little time, if any, for me to deathmatch, to put in individual work, to play some pugs, and to just get some general Counter-Strike time under my belt. And I was concerned, like I said, that I was going to start holding the team back, but we were winning, and I felt like the value that I was adding to the team, regardless of what the stat page said, was more than enough for our team to have the season that we did. And I think ultimately, in the end run, in the end game, it proved itself out that the value that I was adding, doing the things that I was doing in and out of the game, ultimately made a difference for our team positively. Now, I will say this, the past maybe 2 or 3 weeks has probably been the most Counter-Strike I've played, probably more than the past 2 months prior to that combined. And I feel like I've noticed the difference immensely. And I think even, I tweeted out yesterday that even some of the casters for some of the different leagues, Mega Man specifically yesterday, were calling out, that I was fragging substantially harder than I had been all season long. I really do feel like playing just 10, 15, 20 hours more a week, makes a world of difference, especially if that time is individual work where you can deathmatch, you can do things that you're not doing with your team. So the other big part of that, and I guess to explain why I only had so many hours, is I work a full-time job. No one except Uber on our team right now is a full-time Counter-Strike player. I think there's a misconception of that. Anomaly has a job. ZNF is in the military. Quicksilver's in the military. Kusta is in school. And like I said, I have a full-time job. My job is 8 to 6-ish, roughly. It's more like 9 to 5, but usually it can extend 8 to 6. But often requires travel, a lot of day travel, and the occasional air travel, flying somewhere. So, for example, today I had to be on the road at 5 a.m. for a 3.5-hour drive, which then turns into a 7-hour round trip. And that makes practice and all kinds of things just extremely difficult, because assuming I get home, and I was able to leave early today, but assuming I stayed there at this meeting till 5, I wouldn't get home till 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, which means I've already delayed our practice by an hour, and it's just that much less time. So I still have that job, and I'm pretty successful in my career, and I'm not making anywhere near enough money in gaming right now to be able to leave my job. So I just wanted to put that out there. Another thing that I had a ton of issues with this season was really bad routing. I think I played 80% of our matches at 110 ping or higher. So I think that it's possible to play well at that ping if you play enough at that ping. And an example I would use is Quicksilver. He's got the worst internet connection, I think, on the planet. It seems like his ping is always 100 plus, and he's gotten so used to it over the past year or two. That's no big deal for him. It's a huge deal to me. If I play with 50 ping and a pug, I feel like a freaking legend on land because it's so much different, so much better. So all that being said, the reason I share that with you is because I feel like it would be incredibly hypocritical of me to say the team comes first, the team comes last, and the team should come everywhere in the middle, and then only be able to commit 10 to 15 hours a week because of my job and still expect to provide the level of value and competitiveness to a team that's now in a division where 5 or 6 teams are full-time Counter-Strike players. A team, teams full of full-time gamers. And I just don't think it would be fair of me to say that. And like I said, I was concerned I was going to hold the team back in Premier. I'm very certain that if I can only play 10 or 15 hours a week, I will absolutely hold the team back in Pro League. And it is for that reason, barring any unforeseen changes, that I will be stepping down as the in-game leader for Enemy CSGO and will be assisting the team in finding a suitable replacement for myself in the next week or two. Now, I will say we've got a few candidates in mind. I'm sure you guys can guess a couple of them. If you believe that you are an excellent leader, not only in game, but a leader in and out of the game, and that you can compete and commit to the level that would be required for pro league competition, please reach out to me, to Glowstick, to somebody on our team, because we'd like to actually interview you first, make sure you're the right fit for our culture, because like I said, the way we do things is very team oriented, and it's very different than I think you'll find most other teams in NA play. Please reach out to me, and we'll see if we can set something up, maybe play with you a little bit and see how things pan out. Now, I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm not retiring. I'm still going to be adding value to the team in some sort of coaching or consultant way that allows me to maximize the time that I can spend on the game to benefit the team. I just don't believe right now that that would be playing in the game itself if I can only put in 10 or 15 hours a week at 110 ping when I have the opportunity to play a match. So, all that said, super proud of all that we've accomplished this season. We've got a couple more things that we're hoping to knock off the list, but we've already achieved the #1 goal of making it to the Pro League. Super proud of every single one of my teammates and the things that we've been able to accomplish this season. You know, not only making it to Pro League, but beating several Pro League teams, you know, in not only BO1s and taking a couple maps here and there, but also in BO3s. Super proud of you know, and I'll tell this story, and I don't know that I've told this to too many people, if anyone, but there was you know, I mentioned earlier that when we picked up Uber, everything that I was told is this dude is a straight pugger. And I will tell you that we had some challenges early on with Uber where he showed that mentality. But the other night I was watching his stream while being incapable of falling asleep, which I'll tell you, when you work a regular 8 to 5 job and your sleep schedule gets screwed up, it's incredibly impactful. You know, it's like both your career and your gaming career step all over each other. But anyway, it was super late at night, and he didn't know I was watching. You know, I didn't say anything in chat. I just launched it on my tablet and was watching him play. And somebody made a comment in chat, and I was so proud of Uber's response. It wasn't coached, it wasn't canned, it wasn't him reading from a script, but somebody said something, and he said, "You know what, man? At the end of the day, the stats really don't matter. I just got to do my job, my teammates do their job, and teamwork can get us this win." And I was just like, that's it. Like everything that I have worked to teach and to preach the entire season, it's there, right? It's been absorbed and it's been consumed, and it's become a part of a player like Uber, who was probably coming into the season maybe the furthest from believing and kind of showcasing that mentality to the world. And I was just so proud of that. And Uber, if you're watching this, man, you know how I feel about you and your potential. I didn't really have any intentions of sharing that, but I think if I had to put probably one of my proudest moments of the season, aside from the in-game accomplishments our team has had, it was in that moment when I realized, like, hey, this is real. People are buying into this, and they're not doing it just in Mumble and when we're playing, but this is the mentality they have now, and it's the right mentality to have. Don't know if there was anything else that I really wanted to share. Looking at my list of things here, because there was a couple things I wanted to at least cover. I think that's it for right now. I just want to say thank you again, all my teammates. Again, Anomaly, Kusta, Uber, ZNF, Quicksilver, Glowstick. Thank you guys so much for your support, for the teamwork, for the commitment and the sacrifice and the belief in what I was preaching this season. Super proud of every single one of you guys. Thank you again to all the fans. Please, like I said, I hope and believe that we'll continue to earn your fandom, but please don't stop tweeting, sending us your positive energy, and just showing the love in general. Super, super grateful for every single one of you guys. And I think with that, I will leave you with a tweet I shared the other night after making it to Pro League. I didn't let my dreams be dreams, and I hope that you don't let your dreams be dreams either. Thank you guys so much.